Welcome back, watchers and listeners, to our NFC South episode. We have run out of friends. We have really smart, ball-knowing friends, so we don't have any NFC South fans
Exactly.
In our life.
Yeah.
So
You're the closest thing to it, honestly.
I will say a little side note. I threw on my Georgia jersey. I do love Jalen Walker on the Falcons. 2-time national champion, 2-time SEC champion, dog. But I'm just going to put this out there. So, obviously, my family's transplant into Georgia. We're from the Midwest and the Northeast. But most Georgians are not Falcons fans. Georgians are Georgia Bulldog fans. I don't really know Falcons fans, to be honest.
They're out there.
Yeah, just Matt Ryan out there chilling. But we're going to work our way through what pretty much is universally considered the worst division in football. Does that feel fair?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So, let's kick it off with the Panthers, everyone's favorite 9-8 playoff team.
The Frisky Panthers.
Panthers. Cole, you become kind of the Panthers guy of the show, so kick it.
Yeah, I mean, as one of the few teams Rams do not want to see the Panthers in the playoffs. I'll tell you that. I mean, beat them in the regular season and then almost had him in the playoffs. Lost by 3. That's the biggest best thing you can say about the Panthers on this season.
That they were close with
they
the
were
Rams.
Good against them. Beat the Rams. Lost to him in the playoffs. But, I mean, that's where, they are a little bit frisky, I think. And that's kind of the overall question is, are they going to take that leap? Can Bryce Young actually play? Not even a first overall round quarterback, but close to it. A first rounder. Not the first overall, but
Oof.
Yeah. So I'll start there. Let's talk about Bryce Young a little bit. He played 16 games. Good. Stayed healthy. That's something. Got to be available. He had 3,000 yards. 3,011 yards. Just hit that mark. Which is 21st. I mean, it's not even average in the top average of the league, but he got there. 23 touchdowns, which was 14th. Not bad. He did throw touchdowns, and he does have those weapons. Tet was huge for him this year.
I'm pretty sure Mahomes and Daniel Jones' numbers, who played half the season, are better than Bryce Young's numbers.
Yeah. That might be true. And then 11 picks, 27th. Ooh. Yeah, not a great year for Bryce.
You can't see over the line. You can't blame him. He's just throwing the ball out there. I mean...
Totally. I mean, I think Bryce is one of the biggest question marks out there at quarterback. Because they're in this weird area where, do you J.J. McCarthy him and, sorry, we missed. You know what I mean? It's kind of... Yeah, I don't know.
So, he's going into year 4. I obviously hate Bryce Young because he's an Alabama boy. He also is the Alabama quarterback that allowed Georgia to finally beat Alabama, if that tells you anything. I thought that him being the first overall pick was maybe a reaction to a really weak quarterback class that year. That was him, Stroud, and AR. I mean, AR went 4th. What are we talking about? And he had 10 starts.
Totally.
I mean, it's year 4. I feel pretty confident saying I don't think Bryce Young is an NFL starting quarterback. But they just spent a shit ton of money in free agency, so he better be.
I mean, that's the thing. I do think that organization sucks. That team historically sucks. Unless you go back 15 years.
To Cam, yeah.
Yeah. That's true. I guess the Cam era. They were good for that 2 seasons. But yeah, I mean, I do think they made the playoffs. You know what I mean? I don't think you can call him not a starter in the league at this point. There's a lot of guys that are starters that are missing the playoffs on a yearly basis. I do think he's better than that. He's a top 30 quarterback in the league, in my opinion.
There's 32 teams.
But that's what I mean. I do think he should be a starter, which is kind of the worst place to be. You are in that no man's land where ceiling is low. Floor is missing the playoffs, but probably still 6 or 7 wins and not a great draft pick.
I think J.J. McCarthy is worse than him, and I'm having trouble coming up with a second name.
Worse than Bryce Young?
Yeah, besides J.J. McCarthy, I'm having trouble coming up with a second name. And you are too.
No, I don't know. I definitely could, I think.
Gino. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Tua, Geno. Honestly, Michael Penix.
I think Tua and Penix are better than Bryce Young.
I don't. We've never seen them in the playoffs.
Tua led the league in passing. I
don't know.
Him being in the playoffs, 3 teams in that division finished 9-8, and one finished 8-9, and they played each other, and they really couldn't play anyone else. I think that's just a pathetic excuse for a division. I think I much rather would have seen the Bucks sneak in than the Panthers or the Ravens.
But the Panthers snuck in because they beat the Rams late in the regular season and earned that last win, and then got their crack at them again and put up a fight. I do think by the end of the year they were looking much better than they did at the beginning.
That
of the
defense
year,
is really good, and they just paid Jalen Phillips a bag.
So they brought in two linebackers. They brought in Devin Lloyd and Jalen Phillips and paid them both. I think Devin Lloyd's on a $3 or $45 million contract, and then Jalen Phillips is $120 million or something.
Their recipe is play really good defense, run the ball with Chuba. Is Rico still on the team? And
I don't know.
Have Bryce. Yeah, he's a free agent, so I'm not sure.
They brought in AJ Dillon too.
Yeah, have Bryce make it through few throws. I think Tet's really good. He's perfect for Bryce because he's big bodied.
Yeah, I do too. That's the thing. You have Leggett and Tet. If Bryce can be okay and that defense is better, why are they not going to be a playoff team again?
Because Bryce is. I think
but
Bryce is that
their division's not getting any harder.
Yeah, no, I think the Falcons are going to get better. I think the Saints are going to get better.
You say that every year about the Falcons.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
but no,
we'll see.
My final thought on the Panthers is this is his 4th year. Do you pick up the 5th-year option, let him walk, or pay him? You know what I mean? This is the decision year.
Totally. I think it does depend what happened this year. I mean, there's no world where him and his agent could ask for the current quarterback market money. But I don't know. To me, he could live kind of in that Daniel Jones kind of contracts where you're overpaying a guy, but you could do it for less years or something. Just be less committal. Maybe you do re-sign him for a 2-year deal if they sneak into the playoffs again or something.
I think if they're around 500 this year, you pick up the 5th-year option. If they're not doing well at all, I would be okay letting him walk.
Yeah, I agree. If you let him walk, though, you better have a good pick in this draft.
Oh, yeah, if you have a top 5 pick, I think you let him walk.
Oh, yeah. That either means he tore his ACL early or played awful.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Panthers aren't that bad, though. They're not going to have a top 5 pick. They're really not close to that territory in terms of these teams that are, tanking.
My summary on that, though, is I'm not paying him this year no matter what. Either I'm letting him walk or I'm picking up the 5th-year option. Even if they win 12 games, I'm picking up the 5th-year option. I don't trust it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But then again, I guess I think Bryce would play, but you never know. You don't have to play on that. You can hold out and, I don't know. If he plays well, he's not going to play on a 5th year. Quarterbacks don't do that.
Anything else on the frisky Panthers?
No, literally nothing else. No.
Okay, I'm going to do the Falcons. A team that I will have a special place in my heart for, but again, no true Georgian is really cheering on the Falcons. So I really only have one real question for the Falcons, which is this roster is so good. This honestly is a little Vikings-esque. This is a win-now roster. This defense was leading the league for parts of the year. They have, in my opinion, the best running back in football. I've never liked Drake London. I would maybe add another receiver, but you have enough weapons. This roster, in my opinion, is a quarterback away. So are you going to go with Penix? Are you going to go with Tua? And can Stefanski turn this around? Do we like the Stefanski hire? I know you don't. And what can this offense be? Because this really is a win now roster without a quarterback.
Totally. The Falcons are funny because they spend all this capital and all their picks on offense, and then every year we're just talking about their defense because it's so much better than their offense. I do think they're another team where I feel like their recipe, they could be the Broncos. They were kind of supposed to be the Broncos, I feel like. But their defense was elite. They were viewed as one of the scariest defenses in the league the first 8 to 10 weeks of the season, I would say. You did not want to face them. I just think they just are never that scary to me. I'm not scared of Penix or Tua. I don't think Penix is the guy. I think they reached and it did not work out. They also added Trevor Siemian. What are they doing at quarterback? That room is so full. Isn't whoever loses the battle going to be the backup?
Yeah, I think that's because both are so injury prone. They needed a third quarterback.
Okay, they need a backup to the backup.
Yeah, because, I mean, what's the chance either of them play a full season? I would say slim to none. I think Penix has a really good arm, but I do question his durability, and I don't think his football IQ is good right now, but I also think that's because of the coaching he's had in the NFL. Stefanski has a lot of issues, but I do trust Stefanski to develop a football IQ with him and reads and really understand how to make plays. But it's really just a durability question. I think he has a great arm. I think Penix is a better option than Tua to see that ceiling.
Oh yeah, I'd much rather go with Penix because he's young and we don't know what that ceiling is. And I actually I kind of disagree. I like Drake London a lot, and obviously I like Bijan.
Love Bijan.
That offense should be really good. But I'm never. If we're playing the Falcons, that's a win preseason. Like, I'm not scared of them at all. Like, nor do I think anybody should be. Like, any team can beat the Falcons on any given day, I think.
I think Matt Ryan is really smart, and I trust that he has a plan to turn this around. I think he's really smart.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that I don't know how you do it without a quarterback, and maybe that's a draft pick or a big trade. I don't think Tua is the answer. It would be really cool if Penix could, break through and shake the injuries off and show people he's a great pocket passer. I think that history tells us that probably won't happen.
I think he will. Stefanski's kind of a quarterback whisperer. Any quarterback he touches.
You hate Stefanski.
Beautiful. Yeah. I think Stefanski sucks. And I don't get... the media is like, if you lose Stefanski, every team call. It's like, what are we...
He's not Kevin O'Connell. He's not Sean McVay, but they want to put him in that category.
I think he's much worse than that. Yeah, I think he's like a... I don't know. I do not believe in him at all. And I'm confused by people like, where was his success?
He brought the Browns to the playoffs.
With Baker? Yeah, Baker made...
Then with Flacco, 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, that's right. But they brought in Flacco late. That's right.
Yeah.
No, that was a Flacco story, not a Stefanski story. But I mean, that's another thing. Like, Stefanski just can't train these... He's not a quarterback builder to me. But he's supposed to be an offensive mind, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Falcons are going to take a step forward. I don't know how they compete in this NFC without a real quarterback. That's really my whole take on the Falcons. Is this a great roster? If one of your quarterbacks hits, you're golden. But I don't think they will.
100%. I'm with you.
Let's move on to, I don't know, my favorite rising star in the NFL, Tyler Shuck and his Saints.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's talk about the Saints. Saints maybe are actually frisky, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people there... It's that year 2 Shuck. Can he take that step? We'll see. I don't know. Off the bat, I don't think I truly believe in the Saints. My gut. I think Shuck is a little overrated. I think he came in, ahead of all the other rookies because he's a lot older and, more experienced. But I think he kind of, sometimes that means, and maybe it's the same with Bo to a degree, where, sometimes that means... You're actually kind of closer to your ceiling than... you don't have this huge runway to grow because I'm 23 years old and young.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? So let's look at his stats. So he's only played 11 games compared to, we just talked about Bryce Young's 16 games. So these are based off 11 games. 2,384 yards.
11 games? Okay.
Yeah, over 11 games. He probably was pacing...
A 3,000-yard season.
3,000-yard season and some change, I would say. He had 10 touchdowns.
That's bad.
Not great. Yeah, not amazing.
10
touchdowns, which is 30th in the league, but over 11 games. Remember, he could have had a few more. Only 6 picks, but only 11 games. So, the picks are good. That was tied, I think, 8th in the league. And a lot of quarterbacks missed a few games. So,
Yeah, with Tyler Shuck, I guess I didn't realize... Watching a few of the games later in the season, I saw a guy with a good arm and possibility. But thinking about his age, I think he's a really nice guy. I like his story, but I'm maybe looking more at a Mac Jones situation where you show flashes and then you just take a step back.
I do think it is hard to judge a quarterback off their stats with a bad roster on a bad team in their rookie season. I mean, it's part of the reason. I mean, my crazy fandom, but I believed in Drake May so much despite him winning 3 games his rookie season was because of the eye test. I was just it feels so different to watch than the past years of Mac Jones and shit. I do think Saints fans felt that, where it was more of an eye test thing. We're oh, I believe we could win this game. Like, that did exist this year. And that, I think fans should be excited about that. And that leads me to their additions, which they upped their run game, Travis Etienne, and guard David Andrews. So, like, protecting Shock, giving more time, and having a dynamic run game could help this second-year quarterback so much. Really actually take that next step. And I like Kellen Moore a lot. I think that's the biggest question, too, is Kellen Moore actually a head coach, or is he an OC? I think that's the question with any of these young OCs, that it's like the team and the franchise wants their mind on offense, so they give them that head coach job, and then it's like, the question becomes, can they handle everything else that comes with it?
Yeah, I don't really know Kellen Moore's, like, personality, so I'd love to see maybe more of that. Like, I feel like I got to know Ben Johnson's personality, Mike Vrabel's personality, like, even Liam Cohen's. I like to see a little more of his personality, but, you know, if they have a good draft, and I forgot they added ETM. I mean, this division is wide open. Any four of these teams could win this division, and it's probably a one-and-done bid. Like, they're not getting a wild card team in this division. So, one of these teams could be in the playoffs, and I don't see a reason why it can't be the Saints, especially with a good draft.
Totally. Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't check what pick they have, but...
They're around... I'm working on my draft board for our show. They're 8. They're right before the Chiefs.
Oh, they're going to snipe you guys. Uh-oh.
To me, basically the way the board lies, I'm okay with taking 3 players at 9, and at least one of them will be there. I could see, the Saints could do a lot with that pick, and, you know, they're picking ahead of their whole division. They're picking at the front of each round. If we think Kellen Moore's smart, I could see them making a good splash in the draft, adding some young talent, really pounding the run game, having good defense, and just letting Tyler Shuck be a pocket distributor. So
totally, yeah,
I like it. I don't know how we're gonna predict a finishing order. Do you have one already in your head for this division?
Everybody ties. I don't know.
I'm gonna go
8 and 9, 8 and 9, 8 and 9, 8 and 9, and then like tiebreaker.
I'm gonna go
to the Bucks.
You know what? You kind of convinced me about the Saints. I might go Bucks, Saints, Falcons, Panthers. I think that might be mine.
Panthers, you can't do that. As someone who is so high on the Rams, for the Panthers to be their kryptonite and be the team to make it out of this division, you can't be that low on them.
The Panthers, the Saints. Oh my God, who are we talking about? The Rams had a really bad secondary the time the Panthers played them. Made Bryce Young look amazing. I don't know. I think that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Falcons roster is the best roster in the division, but I don't trust the quarterback. If anyone's taking a step forward, I think it's the Saints. If anyone's taking a step backwards, I think it's the Panthers, and I trust Baker. So that's where I'm sort of landing.
Baker lost Mike Evans. I don't know and they missed the playoffs with him. I don't know how I feel.
Let's do it. Let's get into the Bucks. I've said a million times, besides Patrick Mahomes, my king, my second favorite quarterback in the NFL is Matthew Stafford. My third favorite quarterback in the NFL is Baker fucking Mayfield, the Bake Show. Baker, touchdown maker. I love him. Love his moxie. I really believed in him. I thought he was going to win MVP for the first 4 weeks of last season. Which leads me to, what the fuck happened in October? In September, they're beating the Seahawks on a huge win streak. They beat the Seahawks. And then they get blown out by the Lions mid-October and aren't really the same after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. And it's also like, he had so many weapons last year. Godwin ended up getting healthy. He had Mike Evans.
Ibuka.
Remind me of the new guys? Yeah.
Emeka Ibuka.
Yes, thank you. Like, he's outstanding, too. Now you just get worse in that room with probably your one was still Evans, even in that group. Like,
yeah, I think now the one is Emeka.
Yeah, I would agree. Godwin's getting a little old.
I don't love that they're holding on to Godwin. That feels risky to me. For my diagnosis of what happened in October, the schedule did get harder. And at the same time, I think the Baker injury was worse than we realized. We know he missed a game, and he came back and didn't look right after that. So I think that was part of it. I don't know. I expect the Bucks to be back in the mix. I know you're low on them.
Yeah, I think I'm low on them because it's kind of like, are they better or worse today than they were last season? And what did they do last season? And it's like, I don't know. You lost maybe your best offensive player besides Baker,
and they lost Rashad White, which is fine. But
yeah, that's he was kind of irrelevant towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't know if they're any better. Like, why would I expect them to be better? Baker's health, maybe. It is weird going into the season. I mean, that's one of the hardest games I circled on the Patriots schedule. You know, like they were supposed to be. They were viewed as a playoff team, which was kind of rare for the Bucs, besides when they had Brady. But like Baker brought them back to that standard, I would say, the previous year, and like everyone expected them to just be a playoff team in this division, like kind of like it was.
They've been the playoff team.
Yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer to just fall off like that and then get worse over the offseason. I don't know. I don't know what to do with them. I don't view them the same as I did like. Yeah, now they're fighting for anything could happen. So, like, in that, like, Chiefs, Lions, Ravens who missed the playoffs, you consider those three teams an echelon above the Bucs? Yes, absolutely. This changed the way I think about the Bucs, pretty much. That's fair. I mean, I kind of think the Bucs' success is a little tied to Baker. They're not really built like a super team. Like, it is really relying on Baker to do well, and I think that injury... And maybe just, I don't want to make injury excuses, but maybe it just was worse than we thought, and he just couldn't play the same and then totally fell out of it. I mean, totally. I don't know. I expect him to be back. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hope they are. I love, like, a Baker playoff game is electric. Like, I love watching Baker play, and I'll be rooting for them. They're the most interesting team to make it out of this division by far, in my opinion. Like, they could beat any team, I think, with a healthy Baker on any given day in the NFC. Like you said, they did beat the Seahawks when they were like healthy and out the gate. I mean, Seahawks probably got a lot better towards the end of this year. Yeah, I kind of want them to add another wide receiver with Mike Evans gone, because I don't think Godwin is long for this league. And you know, their defense was really good. But Godwin's not that old, but yeah. Yeah, but it's the injuries. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah. I maybe want them to add a few young pieces on defense, because like their defense is maybe getting a little older. They've lost some guys, so I feel like a wide receiver, a few key defensive players is what the Bucs need. Yeah, I agree. No big splashes in free agency either, right? Yeah, no big splashes. They just lost Rachaad White and Mike Evans. Right. I thought Mike Evans was gonna stay. Totally. He's just one of those guys. Like, where the hell is he gonna go in fantasy now? Like, I don't know. I feel like he just is a buck. I don't know what to do with him anymore. I would take Mike Evans over any other of the wide receivers, but I still think option 1 is CMC, option 2 is Kittle, and then option 3 is whoever's open. I mean, I like Pearsall. I was really high on Pearsall, but he can't stay on the field. Yeah. I think Jennings is gone. So he could be good for fantasy. It's just a lot of mouths to feed in the 49ers offense. I know. I did cook up a little surprise for you, because I knew that Baker was going to be catching strays. So, you know, I made myself 2 lists this morning. One of them I found. I found my post-2024 quarterback rankings, okay? Okay. So, this is after the failed three-peat season. Yeah, okay. So, before this past season, this was my list, okay? 1, Mahomes. 2, Josh. 3, Lamar. 4, Burrow. 5, Stafford. 6, Hurts. 7, Baker. 8, Herbert. 9, Goff. 10, Jaden. With honorable mentions to Jordan Love and CJ Stroud. Okay. Does that feel right after not this past season, but the season before? God, you had Baker at 6 or 7? 7. Hurts at 6 because of the Super Bowl. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I buy that list going into the year, I think. So the ones Baker was ahead of was Herbert, honestly because of playoffs, Goff, even though Goff had a really good year that 2024 season, Jaden made the list because of his breakout, but I didn't want to put him higher than 10, and then my honorable mentions were Love and Stroud. I think Baker played better than all 5 of those guys the last, 2 seasons ago. Yeah, I would agree, and I think you're right. Like, the narrative was potential MVP season loading through the first, month and a half of the season. So, yeah, I buy that. That's where he was slotted. Yes, and now I'm going to tell you the list I made this morning. Yeah. Okay? So, the only 3 that stayed the same were 1, 2, and 3. I wasn't going to move Mahomes, Josh, and Lamar. I wanted to move Lamar, but because of the MVPs, I felt like I couldn't. Yeah, fair. You know,
Mahomes and Lamar, obviously, terrible disaster season for both of them. Mahomes has the rings and the MVPs. Lamar has the MVPs. Those are our three no-brainer first ballot Hall of Famers. So they're not moving. Those three. Agree?
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
At 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You want to move Lamar.
I just don't know. Yeah, I kind of want to move Lamar. I don't know.
You're okay with 1 and 2.
I'm okay with 1 and 2 for sure.
And then the next three could go in any order. Okay? I have Stafford at 4 because of the ring and the MVP. I have Drake May at 5 off of this breakout season, and I moved Burrow all the way down to 6.
Burrow's still ahead of Caleb, though. Where's Caleb?
We'll get to this next chunk of guys because that got tricky. But so basically, tier 1 being this like Mahomes, Josh, Lamar. The next Stafford, May, Burrow. How do you rank those 6?
Definitely Mahomes and Josh are top 2. I think going into this year, like, who do I expect to have a better season? Probably, like, numbers-wise, probably Josh Allen. Like, he's not coming off a major injury. It's not a shot at Mahomes, but, like, there's context from Mahomes' season. This is like, expectations or just, like, current...
General rankings.
Okay. Yeah, Josh and Mahomes tied at 1 and 2, I would say, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, May at 3.
That's fair.
Lamar missed the playoffs and was a disaster and has been like never had a playoff run. That's good or impressive. I don't know.
I felt like I had to keep him because of the MVPs, but I didn't want to. You know.
Right. I agree. That's definitely a hotter take. Like, I bet Lamar is higher on the MVP odds, and like I bet the media are still obsessed with him and like, but
the top 3 in MVP odds right now are Mahomes, Josh, and Lamar.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more of a currently, like, absolutely not. I would take Drake over Lamar every time. And over Burrow. I mean, we haven't seen Burrow in the playoffs in 4 years.
I dropped Burrow to 6. Stafford and May both ahead of him. And I'm fine with people taking Stafford out of rankings because of age. But if I'm ranking him, I'm valuing the ring and the MVP.
Totally. Yeah, Stafford's tough because absolutely. Like, he's at that level where he can still play amazing, but you do got the age and coming off a long season. Yeah, Stafford I would rather not rank. Yeah. I would not put in my top 10, really.
But you're going Mahomes, Josh, May, and then some combination.
Lamar, Burrow.
Okay.
I still got Lamar over Burrow. Burrow's
it's
been too long. The leash can only...
So that's my top 6. Mahomes, Josh, Lamar, Stafford, May, Burrow. Burrow dropped, Stafford and May rose. Now, I got 4 spots left in my top 10, okay? 4 spots left in my top 10 and 12 guys who I think could all kind of be considered in the same tier, okay? I'm going to tell you the guys I cut right away as not putting on it based off of this year. Jared Goff. Fair.
Yep.
Baker, sadly.
Definitely.
Jaden Daniels. CJ Stroud. And Bo Nix. Those are the ones I took out of that group of 12 and just cut. Okay, so this is how I went 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is a little bit personal preference.
God, Jaden Daniels you cut?
Cut.
Just for the injury.
I'm worried that I love Jaden Daniels, but availability. One of the reasons Mahomes and Josh is at 1 and 2. I mean, Mahomes is injured right now, but those two are pretty durable. They don't miss 100%, games.
Yeah.
That's why I value Mahomes and Josh besides Mahomes' rings over Lamar and Burrow, right?
Yeah, that's valid.
So those are the guys I cut right away. Goff, Baker, Jaden, Stroud, Nix. So now I'm down to 8 guys for 4 spots. Oh, sorry, 7 guys for 4 spots. And I would be, like, this is where the disagreement starts. I put Darnold at 7. He got a ring. I put him at 7. I didn't feel good about it, but I didn't know what to do with Darnold. I put Dak at 8 off of numbers. I mean, he's video game numbers. Yeah. I put Caleb at 9. So Darnold, Dak, and Caleb weren't on the list last year. Now they're 7, 8, 9. I dropped Herbert down 2 spots and put him at 10. His talent alone keeps him at 10. My honorable mentions are Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, and Jordan Love.
See, mine's pretty different.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it. Who's your...
I'm going Caleb at 7.
Okay.
I think if I was doing like a top 10 like where do I think at the end of this season the top 10 list will be? I think Caleb is like a slot behind Drake, maybe, or like right up there with like I think Caleb
like around Burrow.
Yeah, I think Caleb could make a top 5 quarterback in the league case potentially this season. I just got him way higher, and same with Herbert. I would have Caleb. Would I go Herbert or Caleb and Herbert? I'll take the new guy. I'd go Caleb at 7.
That's your 7, 8.
Herbert at 8, and then I think I'd give it to Darnold at 9 for the ring. But I think that was Darnold's defense, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, I said that about Hurts last year, and you teased me all summer. So I now roles are reversed, buddy. You put Hurts up there. I gotta put Darnold up there.
Well, Hurts has been to multiple Super Bowls.
So that's your 7, 8, 9. Who's your 10? We still got Dak on the board, T-Law, Hurts, Jordan Love, and then all the guys I cut.
Oh man,
it's
yeah,
tough.
I don't know. It is tough. Probably Jaden Daniels.
Okay, wow, and you're the Jaden hater.
Yeah, I just think, like, I agree. One more injury will totally change my mind forever. But he's had one good year, one injured year, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that was my take when we argued about Drake versus Jaden. I was like,
well, I don't think that's close. Like,
I don't think it's close either, but I think it's closer than you think. Like, I don't think it's a huge gap. I think that one went to the NFC Championship, one went to the Super Bowl. Drake's numbers were better. Jaden is a better rusher, probably. I mean,
know. Maybe a more durable rusher.
Yeah, that's true. It's like Lamar and Josh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, I guess. I'm holding room for Jaden. Like, I guess I'm kind of rooting. I want May to be the best out of that class, and I think he is, and I think right now most people would think that. But, like, I do think it's fun if that class grows together all as elite franchise quarterbacks, and, like, that's kind of what we've been missing through this last era of, like, now we've kind of got, even though we still never won it, just the way we talk about Josh Allen, it's kind of like the Manning to Brady. Like, it does feel like there's two kind of big guys. Like, the two biggest guys to beat in the league is Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, if you're facing them, I would say, in terms of quarterbacks.
Yeah, but I think Drake May might have a better chance of being the Peyton Manning to
totally.
Mahomes and Brady. He's already gone farther than Josh.
It just that there is like a,
age thing.
Yeah, a 7-year age gap where like these guys in the next 5 years that'll be a harder like. We'll see. I mean, you don't know, but
I think Drake is the best right now. I could see Caleb at one point being better than Drake. I could see them going back and forth. I think it's Drake and Caleb are the two best ones, but I don't think Caleb. I think Caleb was so good in the playoffs, and you know me, I'm engaged to a Bears fan. Caleb was so great in the playoffs that we are rewriting a little how up and down he was in the regular season.
Oh yeah, I was pretty like, defensive of Drake May before he really earned his kind of new status of like, okay, this guy's pretty good. And I was pretty anti-Caleb. But I do think, like, they made it work by the end. It absolutely was.
This year should be better.
Right, there should be continuity now. And, like, I do think it matters that the end looked better than the beginning. But I agree, like, he has to fix things. I'm not saying...
Gotta be able to do a 5-yard slant.
But we could be cutting him from the top 10. Like, as much of a chance he has to be top 5, he could lose top 10 easy if he doesn't fix, like, these early game and easy situation kind of play, where then he puts it... I mean, it's going to regress to the mean, these late wins that they have, and this luck that they have at the end. Like, it is luck, to a degree. You know what I mean?
And looking at the quarterback list, I think... Mahomes, Josh, Lamar, Stafford, May, Burrow. That's my, like, undeniable top 6. And then after that, I do feel like it's murky. Like, I wouldn't, like, Darnold, Dak, Caleb, Herbert, T-Law, Hurts, Jordan Love, throw Goff, Baker, Jaden, Stroud, and Nixon there. All of those guys are kind of in the same tier and, like, go up and down, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I do think... I don't know. I hear really mixed things. I was talking to one of my friends recently, and it kind of changed my opinion about... Herbert a little bit, because their take was like, Herbert low-key took a leap this year with his 2 best O-linemen out for the whole season, and like he's better than he's ever been in terms of numbers. So it's like, man, if he gets them both back, like this really, if he wins MVP this season, I think it's
gotta
tough
be top,
because
yeah.
Like I do think Herbert is still in that like, man, this guy is in that fringe top 5 area, but it's the playoff woes that it's tough to get over that. Kind of a similar thing. Like I think people are really low on Herbert because of that playoff game, but his season was actually pretty impressive for like
every
what was
game.
around him.
That's every Herbert playoff game, and I say
Right.
that in a lad jersey.
All three. Like, yeah, I'm the first to be like, fuck Justin Herbert. Drake May's so much better than Justin Herbert, and like,
but like Mahomes
has played in more playoff games, no success there. But I do think he could win. Like, he might be my pick to win MVP this year.
I keep going back between him and Burrow. I mean, Mahomes was great in his first playoff game. Like, even, like, right away, like, Burrow was great in his first playoff game. I just feel like if you're good at it, you're good at it.
Totally, I agree. You win or you lose. Like, it does really, like, numbers do kind of go out the window to some degree in the playoffs. And, like, some guys are winners and some are losers. Yeah. I do agree with that. And it can be hard to escape that. You lose your first couple. Man, the pressure every time that one, like, if Herbert's in the wild card round, man.
Yeah. I think the only ones I got my big 4, Mahomes, Josh, Lamar, Burrow. I'm dropping Burrow. I'm keeping Stafford in there as the old guy, and I'm off of projection. I'm putting May up there. After that, it's murky. I also think it's fair to be like, Mahomes and Josh are on a tier of their own, and then the next one. But if you do that, I also think it's fair to say Mahomes is above Josh because of the rings. So
absolutely. Mahomes is alone on an island in terms of legend status.
Success,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, and success. But like the current expectations for 2026, I think, is a different list than like current rankings based on their success.
We're doing current expectations for 2026. I put Herbert so far at the top because of Mike McDaniel.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if I have Mahomes top 5 for expectation. Maybe around there, yeah.
I mean, I think my goal is hopefully by October, November, he's looking like that. But I don't really expect that in September. It'd be great, but
exactly.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah, like,
and I think he
would be a very impressive. That's the thing. It is an opportunity for Mahomes because he doesn't have to have an MVP year, and I don't expect him to be
good.
Right, he just has to make the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh, and then he'll be
go
the best,
on a run.
He'll be the best January quarterback right away.
Right.
Well, that was my little surprise for you, throwing the quarterbacks at you.
I like that.
We got plenty of lists coming for you.
It's interesting. I feel like I'm much higher on all the younger ones now. We've kind of flip-flopped there. I feel like
in this list, I was valuing success a lot. That's why Dak made it up there and Darnold made it up there.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to have plenty of lists for you guys this offseason. We'll do quarterbacks again at the end of the summer. We'll do a team expectations list. Maybe throw some wide receivers and running backs in there. And our fantasy series will be starting pretty soon. We're already locked in.
That's our true expertise.
It's our true expertise.
You're not going to want to miss those.
Oh, yeah. I won a championship this year. Cole, did you win one? Yeah.
Yeah, the league that you were in. Yeah.
Yeah, my 3-win league. So we got 2 champions here to talk to you. That's our NFC South wrap and our quarterback rankings we just did. Stick with us. We got more content coming at you these weeks.
Big time.
Well, peace.